The grill is shot. The chairs are held together by optimism. And what happened to the rug? Sounds like your outdoor setup is not ready for patio season. Fix it all with Wayfair. Shop Wayfair for grills, rugs, furniture, and more. With 20 million 5-star reviews, room of choice delivery, and expert setup on qualifying orders, it's never been easier to do more for less. Get 10% off your first eligible purchase. Hurry to wayfair.com or download the app now.
Wayfair, every style, every home.
Hey there, my name is Ed Placencia. Welcome to Grounds for Gaming, and I've saved you a seat. Well, hello there. Thank you so much for joining me today. I definitely appreciate it. I missed chatting with you last week. As you probably noticed by the episode in your feed, last week we had a special Doppio episode where I was joined by El Jefenix, and we had a great conversation. I really hope you enjoyed it. But as a result, I didn't get a chance to check in with you, see how you're doing. And so yeah, this is me checking in with you and seeing how you're doing. I had a pretty chill week, to be honest with you. My wife Sarah has been out of town for the last week. She gets back tonight. She was out at a fitness conference, surprise, surprise, and I was here just kind of holding down the fort, and I played a lot of games. Not a lot of games plural, but I put in a lot of gaming time, if that makes sense. I gamed a lot. I also did a lot of jigsaw puzzles. On the day Sarah was supposed to leave last week, her plane kept getting delayed. So we were in Fort Wayne on our way to the airport, found out her flight had been delayed. And so we just stopped in to a restaurant, got something to eat, and then it got delayed again and again and again. And so we just kind of hung around Fort Wayne and chilled. We went to the mall, which is the first time I'd been to the mall since the early 90s. So that was kind of weird. It's really different there. The parking lot is a lot emptier than I remember it being. But we stopped by because some friends of ours had suggested a gaming store, and not a video gaming store, but like board games and things like that. And so we went in there. Summit City Gaming, I believe, was the name of it. There's a couple of locations in Fort Wayne, and we went to the one there in the mall and had overwhelmed by the variety and talked with a guy there and got the name of a couple games that we're curious about, but we picked up a couple card games that we went in looking for a game that we could play in the coffee shop. We played Phase 10 since way early in our relationship, and it might be time for Phase 10 to get phased out. I'm good on Phase 10 right now. So we were just looking for something else to play and picked up a couple of card games there that came recommended. And again, kind of have our eye on I can't remember what it was called, but it's a board game series based on various horror film tropes. And each game you have to save the campers or whatever it is, but it seems very interesting, very time stories if you're familiar with that board game. I said all that to say we went to the Barnes & Nobles in there, and first of all, I was really impressed and pleased that there is still an actual physical Barnes & Nobles in existence around here. And we saw a couple of jigsaw puzzles, and one Sarah really, really liked, but she hates doing jigsaw puzzles. And I said, you know what? You pick out the one you like the most. I'll put it together while you're away, put it in a frame, we can hang it up. And so I did that, and I showed her a picture, and she was like, I think we should do more jigsaw puzzles and frame them. And that could be like our style of the house. So, I found a couple other old jigsaw puzzles. I put one together. It'll definitely be going in my office. It's a recreation of a map that appears in Overwatch, specifically the Blizzard World map. The Blizzard World map is actually, it is a theme park that is called Blizzard World, and it has a bunch of different references to, obviously, various Blizzard games. And in that map there's like one of those "you are here" maps showing you how to get around the theme park. So it looks like a theme park map. That is the puzzle itself. So I put that one together, And first time trying the jigsaw puzzle glue that you pour all over the front of it and then smear it around, and it makes a really clear film, but it all sticks together. And I was very unsure how it would turn out. Seems like it works all right. I tried it on the Blizzard World puzzle because, to be honest with you, it's kind of a cheap puzzle. And if it ruined it, I wasn't going to be too upset. But I was very happy to see that it turned out all right. So I spent the last week putting together jigsaw puzzles and playing video games, because I'm either 17 or 70. There is no in between around here. Of course, I played a lot of Overwatch. I don't think I ever won't, but I'm really, really enjoying it still. Brand new hero called Sierra that I seem to be pretty good with. But I say that saying I always seem to be pretty good with the new hero the week they come out or the month they come out. And then everybody else either learns them or learns how to fight them, and I just become mediocre at them and pretty soon don't touch them again. Sorry, Iliari. As you may have seen in your podcast feed, I did release a Ristretto episode all about Mouse PI for Hire. And man, I loved that game. It was a much larger game than I thought it was going to be. I went in thinking it'll be about 6 to 8 hours. I ended up putting in 19 hours. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. I go into more detail, of course, in the Ristretto episode. But man, it was just... Someone said it looked like animated Mickey Mouse. I think it was Tim Paulin said it looked like animated Mickey Mouse Borderlands, and kind of nailed it. It's really cool. I didn't expect it to be in first person. I don't know what I thought it was going to be, but it's just really cool. And I love the fact that all of the art, all of the animation is drawn by animators in the old cartoon style. Everything is drawn by an artist. And I just thought that was really cool. And you can feel it. It just feels like you're in an old cartoon, and it's just a lot of fun running around, taking down the bad guys. The gun barrels are hilariously, cartoonishly floppy, and for some reason, I just thought that was the best thing in the world. But it really was a lot of fun. Kudos to the voice cast. Kudos to Troy Baker, who, once again, I did not recognize until I saw his name in the credits. And then, of course, I was like, oh, I'm an idiot for not even realizing. But it just, I don't know, it just goes to show what a talent that guy has. There's a reason he works as much as he does, you know, that he just becomes these different characters. And it never sounds like he's putting on a quote-unquote voice. It just sounds like this is the way this mouse talks. And oh yeah, of course, that's Troy Baker. The other game I played a lot of this week was Pragmata, and it hurts my ears to say it that way. I've been saying it Pragmata because I don't know, it just seems like that's how it's pronounced or should be pronounced, but everybody in the game says Pragmata. So I guess it's Pragmata? It just, I don't know, it sounds... I don't know, American? I'm going to play some Pragmata. I don't know. It's really weird. But then someone else in the game says the word pragmatic, and I was like, oh, well, yeah, I guess that makes sense if that's where it's derived from. But I'm really, really enjoying it. This is a very busy season as far as game releases go, or at least a very busy season as far as games go that I'm interested in. I know we've got a little bit before the new Lego Batman comes out or James Bond comes out. Those are definitely on my radar. But there are also games coming out like Saros that's just around the corner. And I know me, and I know I'm very easily distracted. And I know once I get so distracted, the game that I was playing tends to fall by the wayside, and then I just never get back to it because I'm distracted by the new shiny over here. I could be an adult about it and just not get every game the minute it comes out, and that's what I've been doing, but there's also a part of me that, knowing that's the way I tend to operate, I wanted to get Mouse PI for Hire and Pragmata not necessarily done. I wanted to finish them before anything else came out because I was liking them both so much. I didn't want to leave them by the wayside, bearing in mind all the while Crimson Dawn is still sitting on my PS5 like, don't you forget. Don't you forget. I know I'm a big game, but don't you forget. I haven't forgotten. It's still on my console. You are fine, Crimson Dawn. You're not going anywhere. But right now, I've been really distracted by Mouse PI for Hire and Pragmata. Mouse PI for Hire, I played almost all day Saturday between taking occasional breaks to put together a jigsaw puzzle. And like I said, it was just a lot bigger than I thought it was. And I also didn't want to rush through it just to finish it for finishing its sake. I wanted to enjoy my time the entire time. And that's exactly what I did. And I was really happy for it. Pragmata, I put a lot of time into as well. I'm really, really liking that. It's very fun. I'm glad I played the demo. And that was a very smart move by Capcom to put that demo out. Because when you look at someone playing it, it seems like a lot, and it can be for me sometimes. But once you get your hands on it and try that demo out, you realize how the gameplay is going to work, how the gun / the puzzle grid thing is happening simultaneously is going to go down. And it takes a second or a few seconds to kind of wrap your mind around it. I'm still not to the point where I'm maneuvering and jumping and shooting while I'm doing the hacking. Everything pretty much freezes while I'm hacking. And as a result, I get punched a lot and hit a lot. But it's a lot of fun. There are a lot of things in it that I haven't quite taken advantage of. I know a lot of people have been raving about all of the different training simulations you can do. I usually don't like the training portions in games. If it's like, hey, over here you can go do this, and you can practice your speed runs, or you can practice your accuracy. I usually kind of just bypass that. And they also have, it's not a skill tree you unlock. You unlock all of these different powers and skills, for lack of a better word, but you can't have them all. You can choose, at this point, 3, maybe 4 to take with you, and the rest are just kind of sitting there. And as a result, it makes me not that excited for them. I just, I don't know. I guess I've gotten spoiled by games like Dragon Age Veilguard or Assassin's Creed, where they have these massive skill trees, and as you collect the skills, you get those skills. I don't know that I'm a fan of having 30 skills to choose from, but you can only have 3. But those perks are just perks, I guess. Really where your power is coming from is when you're upgrading your guns and your hacks and your special abilities, and the special ability of Diana, the Pragmata, the little girl. And that's where the real boost comes from. I started playing on regular difficulty, and it didn't take me long to drop down to an easier difficulty, and it's still really tough, but it's really, really fun. I'm really having a good time, and unlike Mouse PI for Hire, once you leave an area, you can go back and revisit things with your new skills, reach things you couldn't reach before, find different secrets or different skill points and what have you, upgrade points. You can go back and kind of 100% each level, and I'm kind of enjoying that. So it's a really good time. I'm not sure how far I am in the game. I'm not even sure how big the game is. I prefer not to know exactly, but just by judging the map, or at least what I can see of the map, I feel like I'm pretty far in. Unless they pull one of those tricks where all of a sudden a new part of the map that you couldn't see before is revealed. I think I'm a good ways in. As I'm recording this and as I'm talking about it, I'm just excited to get back into it again. And so probably I'll record this, edit it down, upload it, and then fire up and get in a little bit more time with Pragmata. Pragmata. Really weird. I don't know. Is there a game whose pronunciation you're never quite 100% sure about? One of them that comes to mind is Near Automata. I always say Near Automata, but then as I listen to my friends in the UK who stream and they play it, they pronounce it Near Automata, and I kind of like that way better. Near Automata. I like that one. I'm also never sure about Deus Ex? I don't know. I don't know. It's like the whole GIF. I'm sure there's a correct way. I'm never going to remember which way it is. Is there a game that you just don't know how to pronounce? Let me know what it is, and I'll try to pronounce it for you. groundsforgaming@gmail.com, or hit me up on the socials and let me know, what game are you just not sure how to pronounce? You know, the conversation a couple of weeks ago I asked you about was, is there a game that you're a fan of the IP but not exactly a fan of the game itself? And over on Blue Sky, Jeremy Pommier, who I took a voice acting class with out in San Francisco, such a cool guy, he wrote, I've always been a big Marvel fan growing up, but I have a hard time getting into turn-based games, let alone ones with a deck-building card combat mechanic. I keep trying to convince myself to jump in late on Midnight Suns, but I know I won't finish it. And Josh Stapleton wrote in and said, maybe this is a cheat because it's not a current game at all. Not a cheat, 100% allowed. Going back to the PS2 era, I really loved the Lord of the Rings movies, still do, and the movie games were fun beat-em-up games. They released 2 games that were based directly off the movies. I played them so much and just loved them. A short while after the Return of the King game was released, EA made another Lord of the Rings game called The Third Age. It wasn't based off the movies, but it used characters and themes from them. I ran out and bought it, only to discover this was not a beat-em-up style game, but rather a turn-based RPG. I tried to like it, but I just have never been a fan of turn-based games. The idea of taking turns fighting really pulls me out of the game, so sadly, Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, was not for me. Totally understood. You guys, thanks so much for hanging out today. I definitely appreciate it. It's always good to see you. It's always nice to just sit and chat. So yeah, thanks for spending some time with me today. Grounds for Gaming will be right here when you're ready for another conversation, and your seat will always be waiting.